Hey there guys, Master64 here, and today I'm going to be showing you every single softlock in Shrek 2. There might also be some theoretical ones that I wasn't able to execute in this video, but for the most part, every single softlock that's reasonable to execute is shown in this video. What are we considering a softlock to be? We're considering a softlock to be any time that you hit a save fairy in such a way where no matter what you do from the save, you will be unable to beat the game. Let's get on with it. Starting off with Shrek Swamp, as you can see, the game is automatically going to save. We can prolong this by walking around Donkey like we are right now, but unfortunately this is not actually going to help because we still need to die in some way right as the save is occurring. So because there's nothing we can do, we're kind of screwed. Right here, we can actually clip through this log with a really well-timed cutscene skip while mounting the log. This allows us to clip into the model, as you can see right here. As it turns out, we can actually hit the save fairy inside of the log, and this causes us to get completely stuck in the log. Even if we load a save, it's not gonna matter because we're still stuck in the log. In Carriage Hijack, it turns out it's possible to die instantly by doing a jump and then skipping the cutscene at the exact same time. If you do that, it kills you. The only issue with this is that we can actually punch to cancel our death animation because we have full health, and because we didn't hit the ground to die. In Hunt 1, there's really nothing we can do, because there's no way that we can prolong the cutscene to potentially try to die while the autosave happens. No matter if we punch or jump into this, it's not going to matter. With this particular save fairy, it turns out we can skip both the cutscene and the save fairy by doing a really precise triple jump there. And then from this point, we can simply use the bounce pad to give us enough height so that whenever we jump over the cutscene trigger and hit the save fairy, that we die to fall damage, and this therefore softlocks us. The softlock's actually pretty straightforward. We just want to simply skip it by doing a double jump there, and then doing a triple jump from the top of this log in order to fall with enough velocity that we die to fall damage. At the beginning of Hunt 2, there's really nothing that we can do to die. Aside from if we were on an uncapped frame rate and we jumped into this wall, potentially we can clip through it and die. The save fairy poses a bunch of issues. Here's the hitbox of it, as you can see. There's not really any practical way for us to die to fall damage unless we were able to get on top of this tree that I'm jumping into. And unfortunately, since that's not possible, we can't softlock ourselves, but if we were to get on top of that tree, that would allow us to die to fall damage. There is absolutely nothing we can do here to die. It's possible to softlock ourselves here by taking a lot of fall damage, which is actually not as hard as it sounds. We just need to take a quick trip out of bounds to be able to fall onto the save fairy with enough velocity so that we die. From this point, we can do a double jump to land on top of this tree, and then we can do a triple jump from a very high height in order to die to fall damage. There's nothing we can interact with here in order to die really quickly. This save fairy poses a lot of issues to die to. There's a volume really close to him that negates all fall damage, so we're going to need to avoid this with a really precise triple jump. Unfortunately, even with this really precise triple jump, it's still not enough to kill me. Softlocking on this save fairy is not really feasible because there's no possible way we can die from enough height. The problem is that even if we have 1 health, it's not going to matter because when we load a save, our health gets set back to 100 anyway. There's no possible way to die to fall damage because there's simply nowhere high you can fall from. For this cutscene, there's nothing you can possibly do to delay it. From here, there is no way we can die because there's no way to take enough fall damage. It's not possible to softlock here because there is no potential for getting stuck on anything because of where the save fairy is placed. If we can clip to this door down here, then hypothetically we could softlock with a mount bug. Speaking of mountain bugs, as it turns out, it's actually possible to do that. First off, we have to avoid touching the save fairy by doing a really precise walk. And then we want to mount this very, very specific spot. And if we do it just right, we can end up hitting the save fairy while mounting. This causes a mount bug to happen, and that's going to completely softlock us. Despite the fact that we're alive, there's nothing we can do. For this save fairy, we're going to need to get a bit creative because we can't die to fall damage in this particular level just because of how much velocity you have to fall with specifically as Puss in Boots in this level to die. So instead, we're going to jump into a BSP leak to clip completely out of bounds. This softlocks us because not only can we hit the save, but we can't escape this area any longer, so this is technically a softlock despite the fact that we're not dead. At the very beginning of 𝙎𝙬𝙧𝙯, we can do a quick triple jump to get a mountain bug on this plank. And as you can see, now we are completely softlocked. The softlock here, it's a little bit harder than it looks because some models simply don't have collision. Fortunately, this pipe right here actually does have collision, and it's the highest point in the map that we can reach. So from this point, since we can hit the save fairy, we can softlock. Technically, this intro cutscene can be prolonged, but it doesn't allow us to die anyway, so it doesn't matter. Using a really cool speedrunning trick, we can make our way over to the safe area so that we can take a lot of fall damage. Don't mind me playing bad here, it's no big deal. Anyway, by navigating on top of these trees, we can get in a specific spot where we can die to fall damage by doing a dead stop off of this edge. Softlocking on the last save area is actually a lot more straightforward than it really seems. We're just simply going to use a very old skip for Hamlet, and from here we can simply fall on top of the save fairy and softlock. The most we can possibly do is a triple jump out of spawning, but the most you're going to take is 1 damage. Here, there's no way we can die to fall damage or get stuck because of how the gates work. If we could somehow trigger the gates while being over here, then hit the save fairy, then this would be a softlock. There's no chance we can do anything to die here. Softlocking on this save area is actually pretty straightforward. There's a lot of different routes you can use, but I'm going to use a really old speedrunning skip that we all used to use like way back when. And by doing this, we can successfully fall on top of the save fairy and die. Following the any % route, we can do a dead stop off of this tree branch in order to die. I also accidentally got an instance of saving and dying on the exact same frame, which is very difficult to do. As you can see, it puts me at 100% health while still being dead. It's actually possible to hit the safe area over here by doing a really precise triple jump once you get behind the cutscene trigger. Unfortunately, there's no way to die to fall damage, and the trees above really don't help that. There's no way to prolong this cutscene, so there's no possible way we can die in the middle of it. If we can somehow get to the floor above, then hypothetically we could die to fall damage, but unfortunately there's a death barrier that splits this off, so this is impossible to softlock. Softlocking here is actually quite difficult because we need to do a really precise walk off of a ledge. But despite this, it is actually possible to do so. In theory, if we hit the save fairy from the other side, perhaps it's possible to softlock, but as far as I'm concerned, there is nothing we can do to get softlock on the safe area. This next safe area is a really interesting one in particular. Trying to die isn't too hard in particular, but the problem is that whenever we load the save, we're put back at maximum health, which doesn't help our case. So I figured that if we do a jump attack out of it to softlock ourselves, then hypothetically this should work. But as it turns out, I was just being a bit too naive. The closest we can really get to this save fairy is about here, and we're not even close to touching it, so this is not possible. There's no way to prolong this intro cutscene, so there's no possibility of us dying. There's no way to get around the save fairy, and even if we could, we can't softlock on the save fairy. This save fairy completely blocks our path, so there's no way we can possibly die to the save fairy. However, if we were to, in theory, get behind the save fairy, then we can simply have the acid rays and kill us this way. The reason this can kill us is because the acid actually clips through the pipe a little bit, just enough so that we can die to it. Unfortunately, Prison PIB loves putting these save fairies in these pipes, so it's not possible to get softlocked on any of the next 3 either. This cutscene is unskippable, so because of that we can't prolong it in any way, and because of that we can't softlock in any way. The save fairy has a really big and weird hitbox, and due to that, we can simply do a triple jump off the edge to softlock. No matter where we land in this case, we will not be able to live. The safe area has a pretty big hitbox, but we can't actually get on top of the breakable planks over here. Unfortunately, this is not going to give us nearly enough height to die to fall damage. In the case of this safe area, it actually turns out that you can walk around the collision of the safe area, And due to this, we're going to be able to use a really cool skip in the game called 𝙎𝙪 skip. If you've ever watched a top level any percent run, you already know what I'm talking about. Basically, we can clip this wall right here, and then from that point, we can walk all the way up here, and then we can triple jump off the edge and softlock. Just like in Prison Steed, we really can't get anywhere close enough to the save fairy for it to mean anything. This is yet another unskippable cutscene that we cannot die to in any possible way. There's no possible way to get softlocked here, and even though you can get softlocked in the bridge is not close enough. There's no possible way to die to fall damage here, so no softlock. I'm honestly not sure about the save fairy. I feel like it should be possible to get softlocked on the save fairy, but I have no idea how to do it yet. Perhaps it's something to do with the barrel and being able to clip through a wall and then hit the save fairy while that's happening. I'm not sure. And here's the last cutscene in the game. While we can prolong the cutscene, it's not realistic for a human to die. However, if a macro were to do this, it should be possible to die to fall damage. And there you guys have it. There's all the softlocks I was able to find. In total, we found 15 softlocks throughout the game, which is a lot more than I was expecting, to be honest. It's kind of concerning that there's 15 different ones. To be fair, most of them are pretty hard to do, but I still found that interesting anyway. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and see ya!